Hey, good afternoon. Thank you everyone for joining us for this next edition of the SOCM Spotlight. I am Casey Self and I am a communications consultant with SOCM, and I'm here with our outgoing board president, Erica Davis, and our incoming board president, Chauncey O'Dell. So we're just going to have a very informal conversation about both of your times with SOCM and on the board, what you're looking forward to, what you've learned, reasons why people should probably get involved at a leadership level in SOCM, and just kind of stuff like that. So Erica, if you wanted to get us started off, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in SOCM.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for inviting me to chat today. I'm looking forward to the conversation. My name's Erica Davis, she, her. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, but spent 8 years in Knoxville, where I got plugged in with the East Tennessee SOCM folks while I was a student at UT Knoxville. I was coming up on graduation and had, learned a lot in my classes about injustice in the world, specifically environmental injustice and environmental racism, and had spent some time contextualizing that in the Appalachian region. And was really fired up about it and wanting to do more, with my skills, with my time, with my energy, with my passion, and got connected with Ann League, Linda Cowan, and Adam Hughes at SOCM, and the rest is history. I've been around ever since. I think they put me on the board. I think for the first time maybe a year after I got involved. And then I, worked my way up to having the honor of serving as president over the past 4 years. So I got involved, working with folks in the Clear Fork Valley and Campbell and Claiborne counties in Northeast Tennessee, and formed some amazing relationships with folks who have been, doing the good work for decades, for generations. And that is what inspires me. And yeah, a little bit about how I got involved.
Thank you, Erica. Chauncey, how about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Chauncey here in Greene County, East Tennessee. So I got involved kind of two ways in terms of it was in the Zoom era of 2020, but my personal connection to SOCM is our amazing organizer Adam Hughes, who when I was moving back to the area from this is where I grew up, and I was moving back to the area from California, and Adam's like, well, if you're moving back, like you can get involved with this organization SOCM, and so at the time there were a lot of opportunities to do some Zoom lobbying with legislators. There was a lot of gatherings over Zoom, and then much like Erica, after about a year of being part of the organization, I got a phone call from Linda Cowan, and she's like, hey, you want to be on the board? And I was like, okay. And one of the reasons I do love being a member of SOCM, and one of the things that keeps me inspired is, like Erica said, like the people that are members of SOCM. It's people working in the communities and creating relationships in the communities where they live, and around issues that are important to them. And SOCM does a wonderful job of giving people the dignity of being the experts of their own lived experience. And Yes, and then we might get into this a little bit later, but I just want to say that another reason I really love SOCM is that the board is composed of members, and there's very much like a lateral relationship between like the board kind of coming together, and then feedback between the members and the member groups, and the people on the board are we're just SOCM members that get together just a little more regularly to talk about the direction to take. So yeah.
Thank you, Chauncey. That leads very well into my next question. What does it mean to be a board member? What are some of the responsibilities that you have as board members? What are some benefits of being a board member? Besides Linda asking you, what are some reasons you wanted to be a board member? Linda's hard to say no to, I know. So Erica, do you want to get us started off? What does it mean to be a board member? And then what does it mean to be president?
Yeah, absolutely. I think to be a board member, specifically on the SOCM board versus the Resource Project board, really means taking a critical look at the organization and what the organization is doing right. Maybe opportunities for improvement as an organization, and thinking about at SOCM in the context of where we've been and where we need to be on track to go in order to continue growing, continue recruiting members, continue building our organizing capacity across the state, and to continue making a difference in all of the communities across Tennessee. And so strategically, having conversations and planning and learning, what it takes to stick around and continue building on this legacy. I think as president specifically, it's been very important to me to internalize and reflect on and truly understand what sets SOCM apart as an organization. There are so many groups out here, a lot of groups that a lot of us are members of, that do good work and make important, valuable contributions. But SOCM is so unique in that it spans issues and demographic categories, and the focus on community organizing and empowering individuals is really something that every decision we make as a board should go back to that. And there's this sort of conflict there, and hey, we're leaders in the organization and a board making decisions, but all of those decisions are informed by members as well. And I think that's for all board members, but particularly the president, that's especially important.
I would agree for sure. Chauncey, how about you? What is the responsibility of being a board member? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, well, as Erica was saying, the word empower was kind of like what the tone of it, in terms of I personally, like when Linda invited me to be on the board, and I was like, I've only been in this organization for a year, and I do want to shout out that SOCM has existed. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary as an organization, and there's a lot you hear about the board and all of these things, and so I was like, I'm not, and then joining and realizing that it just in the way that our organizers do a wonderful job of like education and being with us at different like activities or legislator meetings, and giving us the confidence to be able to speak. In the same way, the board is this great place as a member to see some of the what it takes to basically like run SOCM, like where some of the material support, the finances, like how that comes together and what's necessary there. But at the same time, to think about ways to, like Erica was saying, like have the long view, a little bit of like, where is SOCM still living its values? Is SOCM still in relationship with its chapters? And are we taking into account what we're hearing from our members, whether that's in one-to-one combos, at events, or at our annual meetings? And so to me, it was like, I love that the board is it's like we get to do some concentrated strategizing and reflection and all of that, but then ultimately whatever the board comes up with, it then gets communicated to the members, it gets communicated to the chapters, and I think that's something really special that SOCM does, because it's very much like, it's a teamwork type thing that feeds back on itself in a really wonderful way. So
I think we've seen quite a bit of change over the last 4 years, Erica, that you have been part of. We have a new executive director. Quite a few things we've gone through. We've gone through COVID. There's been a lot. It's been a long 4 years, I can imagine. And a lot of really amazing stuff, a lot of awesome new staff, and membership is growing. So can you talk a little bit about some of the highlights of the last 4 years for you? What are some things that you're very proud of? What are some things that you think will be your legacy as president?
Yeah, absolutely. So most of my term as president was during the height of COVID, which was, I mean, it's impossible to fully state how challenging that was.
Especially for an organization that gets together face to face all the time. That's part of what we do, right? That's what makes us special. So, all right, go ahead. I can't imagine.
I mean, and all through that time, though, I mean, we were meeting on Zoom. Everybody had just unnamed struggles going on, but still found the time, the energy, the motivation to continue coming to the table, to pour into SOCM, and to make sure that we came out on the other side, and just to survive as an organization, through those years. I mean, COVID continues to present challenges, of course, but just to come out on the other side is such a huge accomplishment, and a huge testament to our resiliency as an organization, the resiliency and power of our members, both on and off the board. It's a testament to the contributions and sacrifices of our staff, who keep our organizational operations up and running every day. I mean, we have staff like Linda, who have been around for decades and have seen even harder times than than COVID, for SOCM as an organization. And then to come out of all of that challenge, all of that, lack of connection, and then to celebrate our 50th year as an organization. I mean, what a celebration. Just it is so amazing to me, that over those 50 years, despite all the struggle, we're still here. We're still living our values, like Chauncey said. We're still building on the legacy of our founding members, many of whom are still involved with SOCM, some of whom we've lost, unfortunately, Boomer Winfrey recently. And just the power of that just it's so humbling to know that I've been able to be a part of that. And in terms of contributions and, legacy moving forward, I do hope that, my involvement in the board has shown that, bringing some enthusiasm to the table, having, younger members in positions of leadership in the organization can, it does make a difference. And that, I think, I'm not as young as I was when I first started with SOCM, but still bringing a younger perspective to the table, especially as we think about how to build our organization for the long term, recruiting newer, younger members, being involved on campuses, things like that. I think is important to continue working on moving forward. And yeah, Casey, like you mentioned, all of the changes we've experienced during this time, some good, some bad, but a lot of positive changes. Just I had the pleasure of being involved in bringing on Austin as our new executive director, and seeing the sort of dynamic nature that he's brought to the organization as a leader, and expanding our organizing capacity in Middle Tennessee and statewide, in the context of our really beautiful, amazing public education campaign, that I really think is going to help change the lives of kids, and therefore, improve our state for years to come. That's been amazing. I think that the final comment I'll make on that, and something I've been really grateful for, is the opportunity to learn from and build community with longtime SOCM members on the board. People like Jean Cheeley and June Roston, who's on the Resource Project Board, Miss Patricia Hawkins, Joycelyn Johns, just to name a few. I love all those ladies so much. And just knowing the sacrifices they've made, the work that they've put in, the passion that they have for their communities. It's really a gift to spend time with them and to work alongside them.
I'm glad you mentioned that last point, because I was going to lift that up if you hadn't, is that I love that SOCM's multi-generational and very diverse, and it comes especially to not only geographically and economically, but also our age differences. And so you've got people on the board that are of all different ages, and learning from each other, I think, is really nice. So we're learning from those who have come before us, and they're learning things from us, and vice versa. I'm kind of in the middle there. Anyway, so I just think that's something that I was going to lift up, and I'm glad that you did. It's something that's very special to me as well. Having been a staff member, a board member, a member, and now working again with the organization. So Chauncey, hearing about all of the things that Erica is proud of over the last 4 years, what are some things that you're looking forward to? What are some things on your plate over the next couple of years?
Yeah. Well, one, I'm so grateful to know Erica, and I think, yeah, she's so amazing, and I'm humbled that she suggested that I do this, and if Erica hadn't, I maybe wouldn't have thought that I would be able to do it. So to that, like, it kind of speaks to the relationships that we build in SOCM and how we all like empower each other. And Erica's just a phone call away, which is wonderful. And so, yeah, what you were mentioning, both of you all, about the intergenerational, let's say, cooperation and friendship and knowledge sharing is something that has me really excited about being president of the board, because I know that as president of the board and getting to meet kind of regularly in a slightly different capacity with the executive director and the staff, is that I'll also be kind of at the place where, like, new members, our public education campaign and the housing justice that's happening in Knoxville, that's bringing in an influx of a lot of, like, younger new members, as well as proudly middle-aged now, so like, you know, middle-aged parents coming in through the public education, and then we're also staying with our roots in terms of environmental justice. Of course, all of these justice campaigns are interlocking and can't really be separated, and that's one thing I love about SOCM, is that we also acknowledge that kind of the communal fights are interlocked. And so while we have you know, kind of groups can be specializing and stuff, ultimately we understand how they all feed into each other. So and so with that, because our roots are in environmental justice, we have just huge knowledge and resources from our members who have been with SOCM for a couple of decades. And remember when it was, you know, with, you know, working and holding strong against strip mining and things like that. And now, you know, the TVA is up to shenanigans with another pipeline. So we've got like that coming up. And so to me, I'm looking forward to keeping SOCM as a place and an organization that I think is something that, you know, in kind of modern society, there aren't a tremendous amount of places where people of different generations get together and share. There's a lot of arenas where if people of different kind of age generations are together, then there's this almost like competitive thing, or somebody's moving in, somebody's moving out. And SOCM is really a place where it's like, because everyone is given dignity and everyone has something to bring, whether it's a lived experience, whether it's some knowledge about the inner workings of TDEC, or all of those things, that it's kind of, yeah, each gathering we have is a place where knowledge gets shared, ideas get grown, and then we kind of all work together. So for me, I don't know that I necessarily have like super finite goals, other than kind of reflecting what was shared in our annual meeting, which happened at the beginning of October, which was a desire from our members to see SOCM have a wider membership. The fact that we have, you know, a purview that's very much about meeting communities where they are and listening to what communities need. Like there's a real opportunity to keep growing statewide while staying authentic in our values and not just expanding for expansion's sake, which is something that I'm really relieved about, being that feels like something that keeps SOCM like true to what we do, and so yes, that's yeah.
The organization, in my experience over the last 10 or 12 years that I've been involved, grows but strategically. And so I think that maybe is what you're referring to towards the end there, is that we're not just growing for growth sakes. We're not just, you know, oh, we got to put all these members on paper and, you know, collect membership dues. It's we want members, of course, everyone is invited, everyone is welcomed, everyone has a place. But it's strategic in how we look at our chapter structure and our committee structure and stuff like that, so that everyone has an equal voice, and everyone has a place where they can participate and be lifted up. So I definitely agree with you there. I know one thing that both of you all have been working on as part of the board is the strategic plan. Does someone want to share a little bit about, just a minute or two, about the strategic planning process that you're going through and how people can get involved if they have ideas for how SOCM should be going about their strategic planning process?
Well, my understanding real quick was, you know, as Erica was referring to earlier, where, you know, the last few years have been about a little bit about with an eye to the future, kind of surviving as an organization during the era of COVID. And so now with with kind of the momentum that we have there, we are thinking really seriously about the next 5 years of SOCM, and so the strategic planning will be really informed by what we're hearing back from members and member groups about what they would like to see SOCM do. And so in kind of the immediate future, if you are a current member of SOCM, at some point you will probably get a phone call from me or another board member calling to ask some questions that we're going to come up with as a board, actually at our meeting this Saturday, to kind of guide some feedback on that. But as always, we invite members to just holler at us in whatever form is that they prefer, to let us know ideas or different things.
I imagine that there, oh, sorry, I was just going to say, I think that there's a survey that'll be coming out, if I recall. Yeah, and then info@socm.org is always a good way to holler at the board or staff.
And then Erica, did I cover it? What do you think? Anything else to add?
Yeah, absolutely. I would just emphasize that the strategic plan is a holistic, comprehensive exercise. So, we look at all of the buckets that are necessary, to be well-oiled parts of this machine. We look at membership recruitment, fundraising, organizational capacity, leadership development, all sorts of areas, and set, concrete, specific goals in all of those contexts in order to achieve our greater strategic goal. But yeah, it's a collaborative process. It's always a work in progress. It's something, a strategic goal is a moving target in a way. But yeah, the more input, I think, the better.
Well, thank you so much for both of you for doing this SOCM Spotlight. I really appreciate it. I was very excited to talk to both of you. Erica, thank you for all of your service on the board. You have been wonderful helping us get through COVID and hire a new executive director, and very excited about all of the things that you've been able to accomplish over your tenure. And Chauncey, I've gotten to know you over the last couple of years, and I'm thrilled that you'll be taking over the helm. For those of you that don't know, if you are a new member and you get a little packet in the mail, that's Chauncey. So Chauncey has been welcoming new members to this organization as they sign up for quite some time now. And so she's always willing to lend a hand and listen to folks and have good conversations. And she wants to hear your stories. She wants to hear from you. And so I just think that both of you ladies are really true, wonderful testaments to this organization. So thank you so much for being on the board and for serving as the SOCM president. We've got 1 minute left. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we log off here?
I would like to take the opportunity to say I am also so excited for Chauncey to take over as president. Chauncey is just one of the most authentic, steadfast, compassionate people I have ever met. We talk about authenticity, and that I think is probably the number one word I would use to describe Chauncey, which is just it is an extremely important quality in a leader, and a quality that may be often missing from leadership in other contexts. So I am just so excited to see what Chauncey does, and to keep involved as a member outside of the board.
Thank you. All right, Chauncey, do you have anything you want to leave with, or are you good?
I'm good. Thank you, Erica. And also, thank you, Casey, for giving us both an opportunity to speak and for putting this together. Really appreciate you. So thank you for all the work you do too.
Yeah.
Love you.
Enjoyable.
Oh.
Thanks everyone for joining us. This is going to be recorded and we are November 1st, 2023, just a couple of days, and Chauncey will be taking over the gavel for her first board meeting. And so we're going to put this up on YouTube. And as always, go to socm.org for more information. We'll be updating the board members there here in the next couple of weeks on socm.org. /Meet the Leadership or something like that. And make sure you're signed up for our e-news, which comes out every week and has lots of information. And become a member. We'd love to have you. And you can see we have wonderful leadership here at SOCM. So thank you both. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks to everyone who has joined us. Have a good one. Thank you.